So this would be our course structure basically, where we hope you are all able to see my screen. So our course structure would include user experience design and user interface design. So your brand is organization which in collaboration with Social Prachar that we are taking up this course. And this link would be shared with you shortly after the demo. And who are eligible for this course? So basically, whoever is interested in design and whoever is really passionate about learning and providing solutions for the digital products is something that interests any individual to take up this course are eligible for this course. So who can be a degree pass out or who just had a fresher experience in the industry and all that stuff. But I mean, no matter what are you doing currently, if you are willing to actually change your career from any of your current profession to a digital designer like UX and UX designer, you are all welcome for this course. And our objective on this course is actually looking at the fundamentals of the design. So before we start designing, there are many things that we'll have to keep in mind. That is how exactly the product design happens. So what is the background that a product is coming up into the market, and what are the fundamental things that we need to keep in mind before designing the solution for any product. So understanding our users. So where are we currently focusing on? Who are our target audience? And what is the problem that we're trying to solve? I mean, there are many such factors that we'll have to keep in mind before starting our design. And we'll start basically from that level, and we'll learn how we design from the UX design and then on to the UI design. And after doing this, we'll also do some projects, live projects, where we follow the entire life cycle of this design and then build the portfolio for us. So portfolio again is very important for anyone who is looking for a job in this industry. So first thing any employer would look at is your profile, and next for a designer is definitely a portfolio. So as long as your portfolio is strong, as long as your communication skills or the way you present yourself on providing a solution for a product is presented properly, you will definitely have a job. And even in a scenario like people are losing their jobs and all that stuff, you can be really sure if you are perfect in all these lines, you can definitely get a job. So moving on to the topics that we cover. So user-centered design research and analysis is the first topic that we cover. So when you say user-centered design, we are looking at the user who uses the product. Let's take any e-commerce website. So who are our users here? So we need to identify who are our users, who are our target audience, and what do they expect from a product that we are going to launch. So do we have to check for any competitors? So if we have some competitors, who are the competitors we are looking at? And what are they doing currently, and what is the solution they have, and what is the add-on that we are having in our product? So and what kind of a pain points the current users are facing in the market. So everything around the user would be studied. The environment, the ecosystem where the user is placed is all studied under user research and user research analysis. So after certain user research, we'll consolidate all the research findings and come to analysis. So we analyze what kind of product we are going to build. So what kind of expectations a user is having from the market. So all these things will be consolidated, and we'll have something in mind where we get on to the brainstorming phase. So when we get onto the brainstorming, we actually collaborate with many of the stakeholders around. So when we say stakeholders, again, it will be the product owners, business analysts, the uh, the end user, or the tester, the developer. So we actually all of them collaborate. We'll form into a focus group and discuss about the different forms of solutions that can be provided for the findings we had from the research. So finding all these things, we might come up with many other things. So all this will be covered under the user experience design phase. So in this phase, we brainstorm, we come up with multiple solutions, and we test which is actually working better. And there will be many elements of user experience design here. So when we are brainstorming and we are proposing some solutions for one kind of a problem, we might come across many scenarios where we need to look at and actually get into deeper understanding of each of those elements. So all those will be covered as a part of user experience design elements. And once we propose a solution, once we find, okay, this solution is really good, working good. So how can you validate? So I'm not the only user who is using the product, but there are many people in the market who are using this product. So in that case, how do I test it? So there should be some testing to validate the solution that we have prepared. So usability testing and for the user experience is required for any product. And so we do the usability testing remotely and also physically if environment actually supports us in this scenario I'm currently talking about. But usability testing can also be done remotely. So we'll explain you how we can do the usability testing remotely and what are the findings and what can be the next action steps after a usability testing. So these all will be for a new product. So what for an existing product? So there will be a website or there will be an application. So the clients keep coming to us and ask us, how can we improve the experience on this product? So there would be some. So for example, let us consider UX or UI design for any product. If you are delivering the solution today, it is definitely bound to change even tomorrow because the user experience or the user behavior is continuously changing in the market. So every day we have an opportunity to enhance the product. So what are the improvement strategies that we can look upon? If you're talking about a website, what are the things that we need to look at and what are the strategies that we have to apply to make the UX improved for that application? So how can we enhance the user experience on any such product? So while we build all these things, how ethical are we? So there can be products which can be totally, maybe you are professionally, you are really good at providing a solution, but how ethical design that you are providing? So what are the factors that we are considering while doing a design? So what are the factors that we should consider to provide an ethical design and produce an ethical solution for a product? So this is very important factor that we'll have to look into as we are seeing many booming markets which are also into UX UI design training, but how ethical are they and what kind of a solution that they are providing for the codes they are doing? And similarly, while you are designing for any product, what kind of a solution you are providing for that particular product? So all these things should be kept in mind before designing a solution. And all these solutions would be possible by using some tools and applications. So we'll have some tools and applications also be given a basic walkthrough and like how to use these tools, and we'll do our live projects also on these tools. So Adobe XD is one of the tools that we're going to cover, and luckily this is also available free for one prototype at a time. So if you have to build multiple prototypes, you'll have to purchase the premium version of it. And like we have mentioned, we'll do the UX projects where we'll do it for the desktop applications, Android and iOS mobile applications, and we might even look at the Apple Watch designs. So any smart devices. So device can be anything, but ultimately the solution that you are looking and what are the factors. So when you are considering this third topic, elements of user experience design. So if you are thorough with this topic, device doesn't matter. So you can play it with any device. So all those things we can cover under UX projects, but we will be doing one real-time project, or I can say rather than real-time, I can say live project uh, from end to end. So right from the user-centered design research and analysis, we build the entire solution, build the prototype, till the design asset handover to the development team, we do it. So the main thing that we have to make a note of this session is we'll cover the design part of the entire UX and UI. So UX and UI as a holistic course, you should also have the front end experience where you have coding and all that stuff also. But on this course, we'll just cover the design part of it. So till we hand over the design assets to the development team. And after doing this, while we are doing all these live projects, we are also building our portfolio in parallel. So that would also be covered, and we would also give you tips or some important points that you'll have to keep in mind before appearing for any of these job positions. And we'll also keep letting you know where we have a placement opportunities for certain roles, and that will definitely help you to secure a job. So there are multiple certifications available in the market, and soon after this course, you will also be receiving the course completion certificate. So this basically would be when you say you have a certificate, what exactly it means. So you are doing something which has already been proved. So when you have a portfolio which is really strong, certifications will be just an add-on. So unless and until you are not able to explain what you're doing as a process, what your design process would be, no certificate will really help you. So rather than focusing on the certificate, we'll more focus on the subject, where the fundamentals of the subject you're learning on this course would definitely help you secure a job. So you'll have all these benefits while you are going through a course with us. So you can earn the access to the tools during the course duration. You'll have the placement assistance, and we'll also have mock interviews conducted with the industry experts who are already working for giants in the market. And we'll also have a portfolio and the profile review done. So we'll suggest you, once you make your profile and a portfolio, we'll suggest you what are the changes that can be done, and which can secure more points in a competitive job interviews. So this actually, so I will also briefly give you what it is. So design process, when I'm saying user experience design and all, what is the design process that we usually follow? I'll just give you a very quick glimpse of what this learning would be. So when you say user experience design, you will have to research. Like I told you, you'll go into the market, you'll talk to people, you'll understand their understanding. You will understand what is your product's objectives. You will understand what are the pain points by the users for this product. So after understanding all this, you will have to go through a certain phase where you will consolidate all these things. You will brainstorm all these things. So you'll first understand the entire requirement of this product. So you call that as a discovery phase. So in the discovery phase, you get a complete understanding of what you're going to build in the next few days. After getting this, you will just brainstorm, you'll ideate with the people, you'll ideate with different sections of people. So when I'm saying different, not all designers will think the same way as the developers think, and not all testers would think the same way as the developers think. So you will form focus groups where you have different people, where you also check the feasibility of the solution that you're trying to build. So when I say uh, an elephant coming to my room, is that really possible? So I should check the feasibility before recommending a solution. So for all these things, we'll have a focus group discussions where we ideate, we check the feasibility, and we'll understand what kind of a solution comes, and we start doing the pencil sketches, initial concept sketches, where we try to explain with the business owners or the product owners that this is the process that we are going to come with. And after doing that, we'll validate those things, and we'll start with the wireframe design. So wireframes are basically the very skeleton sketches of the product that you're building. So it will be black and white, and you just do. I mean, those are the quick solutions that you design. You draw it on the paper, and where you will have the pieces and what would be the user journey there. So where would user navigate from this screen to the other? So what are the different touch points they'll have to face while navigating from one screen to another? Is all that covered in the design phase. So once you do all these things, you will also do the prototyping. So prototyping is nothing but you will have the product which actually looks like a product but without life. So it doesn't have any code with it, but you can really test how this works. So that you can do with the prototypes. There are many tools in the market that can support us doing these prototypes. So these prototypes will also be covered under this session, where we use these prototypes to do the usability testing. So when we are saying usability testing, again, we use multiple tools. We'll see. We'll give the prototype to the people. We'll ask them to test how it is working. So when I want to place an order in an e-commerce, or let's take Amazon as an example. So it is an e-commerce website. So if I have to purchase a particular book, say a novel, I want to go for that particular category, I will have to discover and place an order. So how easily a user is able to do it? So we'll just give so there are different types of usability testing as well. So we'll take you through that in the course, and how exactly we need to moderate these sessions, and what are the type of findings we need to absorb from this testing. So from the usability testing, what are the things and what are the next action steps we need to do? So once we validate all that, we'll finally produce the design assets, and even producing the design assets and delivering it to the development team. There are many other tools again available which can facilitate this design handoff. So UX is not just that starts and ends while delivering this design assets, but UX governance remains all through the project lifecycle. So once you create a design, and the design is being developed, and developed code is being tested, and you are producing it to the live environment. Till this phase, all your work as a UX designer will keep active, where you will have to have a UX governance all through these levels, and you have to check. So when you are proposing a solution, is the content really telling the tone, or is really having a tone or voice that you want to tell to the user, or is the imagery that are used on the design is exactly telling what you wanted to say, or the kind of a code or the kind of a micro interactions that you're having on the website is aligned with your objective. So everywhere, while the testers are doing it, or while the developers are coding it, you'll have to have a quick understanding of what's happening, and you'll have to keep aligning that to your objective. So this is an all through project, and UX designer has a very primary responsibility of producing a product the way a user expects without compromising on the business needs. So you'll have a lot of responsibility on your shoulders while you're designing a product. So that is something you'll have to keep in mind. So this will be very interesting once you get onto it, and once you start working on it. So once you develop one product, at least from end to end, you will definitely have a confidence. You will develop more interest in exploring more things. And it's not that whatever I am saying you right now should be concretely followed everywhere. It depends from project to project. So what kind of understanding you need for that particular product. So when you start working on this, you will come up with your new methods. So all these new methods, again, in a team collaboration, we can discuss, and that we can improve our methods and the procedures or the processes on a day-to-day basis. And similarly, we'll have a different set of working style for the existing products, where we apply strategies to improve the user experience on the whole. So all these things will be covered as a part of our course. So let's look at the questions if you have any. So you can post it on the YouTube channel where the live is going on. You can post it there, and I'll take it up from there and answer your questions from there. So eligibility for getting a job. So you will have many kind of questions. So basically, what kind of experience? I hope you're all able to hear me, right? If you're not able to hear, just ping on the comments in the YouTube chat. I'll just check. So I assume I'm able to be heard, right? Okay, so the question is, what is the eligibility for a UI UX designer to getting a job? So first thing that you'll have to keep in mind is what kind of experience you carry. So are you a fresher or a experienced professional already? So eligibility is something, as I told you while I'm giving you the demo, you will have to look at building your profile and the portfolio. So portfolio is a very strong thing that you need to have it prepared before applying for a job. So before portfolio, don't even try applying for a job, because the employers will just shortlist you by seeing your profile. So unless your portfolio is strong, you cannot qualify the first filtering round, where in your portfolio, what usually people expect is what kind of education qualification you have. So maybe you are, you need not be from a technical background. So even if you are not from a technical background, what kind of understanding you have towards the design? So what is the work you have done previously? So when you say you are a UX and UI designer, what kind of a solution you have, and what kind of analytical understanding for a problem you might have. So if you have to, for example, I'll tell you what kind of a case study you might have on a portfolio. So if you are building a solution like Amazon or an e-commerce website, so what is that you will first look at while building a solution like this? So who are your target audience? So how did you identify your target audience? And what kind of a solution you provided by following what process? So what is your design process? So everything will be seen from your portfolio, from your case study that you have it on a portfolio. So having this very strong will actually clear some 50% of your interview rounds there itself, and rest 50% lies in how you communicate. So as a UX and a UI designer, you will have a responsibility even to convince your stakeholders. So when you say stakeholders, stakeholders are anyone. So your business owners, your product owners, or the client who is paying you. or your manager, anyone, or your developers, your testers. So all these people need to be convinced for the solution you provided. So when you are providing something, you need to have a proper rationale for it. So why are you providing? So when you have to say, let me give a very simple example. So what is your gender? If I ask you that, what is the button you put there? Is it a checkbox you put there or a radio button? So if you put a checkbox, what is the rationale? So do you expect a person to be male and female at once? So if not, why not a radio button? So there should be a logic before providing a solution for anything of such. So all these things, very minute details that you provide on the design will be carefully seen, carefully understood before calling you for an interview. So even if you are a fresher or even if you are already experienced in some other industry, some other profile, that doesn't matter until you make your portfolio strong. So we can help you building that portfolio during our course. So yeah, technical background will not matter at all. So that will probably a basic hurdle initially to get over it, but you can still cope it up. So you can also find those things from our link. I'll also share it again for you to understand the eligibility and all that stuff and what are covered. So this will actually give you understanding. I mean, this will boost your confidence at least. So these are the topics we cover. So when we say profile and portfolio building, we just don't give less weightage to it. This is much important for you to secure a job. So we do everything that is required for you to get placed. So we give you all kinds of assistance that is required. So we can, while doing this entire course itself, we can start building your portfolio in parallel. So one live project, as I told you, we'll definitely do through the course. And once after we do this live project, you will get an understanding what kind of case studies we can add to a portfolio. And so even in the portfolio, we can have it this way. So the industry that you are looking at. So if you are in a pharma industry and looking for a UX designer job in a pharma industry, so what kind of solutions you have provided already in the pharma industry is something we'll have to look at. So Practo is one of the examples to that case. How healthcare Practo is one application. So what kind of a problem they are solving? So how are they solving? So if you have some understanding on existing Practo or the analysis that you have on Practo can also be part of your case study. It need not be an entire project. So anything that showcases your knowledge on this subject can be added in the portfolio. And this will definitely attract your employers to call you for an interview. And as I told you, 50% will lie on your portfolio and 50% lies on how you communicate it with your stakeholders. So stakeholders again involves your employer while you are convincing them that you have done so and so in your project. Salary expectations for a fresher is basically, I mean, currently the market scenario is totally new. I mean, post COVID-19 situation, we cannot expect, but I can definitely say that there are more opportunities in the IT industry for this because everyone are moving digital. So when we are going digital, we need more digital applications. So for digital applications, again, they need more UX and UI designers. So earlier there was not so much importance given to UX and UI designers, only the developer or the so-called web designer. The olden days web designer used to do everything. They used to start with the UI design and they used to code them and they used to produce the product finally. But later the specializations came in where each and every aspect of a digital product is taken care by specialists. So that's where the UX UI designer came in. So UX designer will definitely have a demand in IT industry and not just IT industry. So when you consider many other industries, they are building digital applications. So when they need digital application, you need to have a domain understanding. Domain is nothing but the industry that you're looking at. So if I'm saying healthcare, you need to have a little understanding of how healthcare is and what kind of work healthcare would do, or what kind of expectations the target audience looking at the healthcare products would look like is something you need to have understanding. So when you are building a product like Practo, so who would be your target audience? So it would be patients or some caregivers. So what would they expect from application like a Practo or a healthcare application? So a little understanding on the domain and more understanding on your design process will help you building a case studies for your portfolio. So that can give you better job opportunities. And salary is can be, I mean, for a fresher, I think it is around 4.5 lakh per annum in the industry. So now I'm not currently sure, because currently I think hiring everywhere is a little frozen, and now they are getting relaxed as well. So by the end of our course, definitely the opportunities will be back again. So programming skills, like I told you, UX designer doesn't need any programming skills, but you need to have an understanding. So when you say you will, so when I'm clicking this button, I'm moving to a next screen. So is this really possible by using a technology that we're trying to have for this application? So if this is not possible, then what is the point of building a solution? So when HTML, CSS, AngularJS, Node.js, these are all the front-end technologies. So whether these technologies have capability of building the solution you're proposing. So when you're saying, I just want to flip this page like just I do it on a book. So if you are proposing that solution, is that possible in Node.js? Is that possible in AngularJS? Okay, yes, that is possible. Then this is definitely possible, and you can recommend this to your developers also. So if you have this understanding, you can easily convince your developers also to do that. So definitely, your understanding and the way you communicate with your stakeholders, as told you again, will help you doing that. And tools that we cover as a part of this course would be Adobe XD is one major, very big, good tool where we do all kinds of requirements that we have for UX design can be covered using this tool. And there are tools like InVision, there are tools like Zeppelin, and we have many other Principal, Origami Studio, InVision Studio, Indigo Studio. There are many tools in the market, but we'll definitely cover Adobe XD in detail here, where we start from the wireframe designing, user journeys, the customer journeys, so mind maps, all these stuff would be covered, and the way we need to present it from Adobe XD can be learned from this course. And once the wireframes are done, how to convert it into a UI design, and how these UI designs are converted to a prototype can all be learned from this course. So tools you need not matter. So after you finish this course, you can definitely build an end-to-end design solution for any digital product. That we can assure you that. So that will be part of your portfolio as well. So Prashant has asked a question where he is already owning a website and he wants to improve the user experience for it. So improving user experience, like I told you, there are UX improvement strategies that we can apply. So for that, we need to understand. So when we are saying we need to create a user-centered design, so first thing I would ask is why you are wanting to change your UI of the website. So is that some problem you noticed, or is that something that you got a feedback from your customers that something is not working, or is your objective not met? So these are the questions. These are the kind of questions you need to understand first while you want to improve your website. So getting these answers is not that easy, because your website must be used by many people. So maybe some hundreds of people, thousands of people. So you need to gather the feedback. So gathering the feedback can be one way of gathering the feedback is directly talking to them, understanding what is working and what's not. And there are several tools which can give you analytics. So Google Analytics is one of the very popular thing that we can look at. So where we understand what is the bounce rate for a website. So why are the people coming? Why are they going? So how is the information architecture on my website? So whether the information that I'm trying to provide to the users is well organized. So all these we'll have to look at. So when we understand what are the UX topics, we can uh, actually look at this website block by block. So understanding and analyzing each of these scenarios would provide some solutions. So we can look at all these things and improve the UI. UI is basically the visual appearance. So is my visual appearance is also not so appealing? So then I'll have to look at the visual appearance also. So all these points we gather, and then we can improve the website. So improving the website is actually easy, but to understand what needs to be improved is the work. So you need to ask right questions and gather right feedback from the people, and then look at improving your website. And yes, soon after this course, you will also be equipped with that knowledge of what kind of questions you need to ask, what kind of a process you need to undergo to improve your website. Yeah. So when your traffic is dropping on the page, you need to understand why. So what is the product that you're trying to put, and why are they not willing to pay? So you understand it from here itself. The question that you have posed actually poses your answer also. So when you are saying people are not paying for it, what kind of a product? So is the product something users are looking at? Are they requiring something like that? You need to question yourself or your business for that. So, and what kind of improvements they're expecting from these products, or if you have clarified all these questions on what my product is doing, and yes, these are according to the requirements of the user, then what is stopping them to make payments? Is it the interface that they are facing a problem, or is it a technical glitch? Or if they are going on to a payment page, what are the other things that they are looking at? Is the price that they're looking at, is they feel more, or the experience they have while paying is wrong, or is there a technical glitch? So all these things you'll have to look at. So the many factors are involved at any pain point. So what are the different factors? You need to have a holistic understanding of why this problem is occurring, and you need to find a recommended, you will find many solutions for any problem. So again, as I told you, you'll have to form focus groups to understand what is the problem. From my understanding, so if I say something, I'll definitely feel it's my problem. So but unless you are telling me, okay, you are saying this is right and this is wrong, I'll not be able to find a proper solution. So there need to be a group discussion where you put in your problem and discuss. So when you have identified the interface problem, you should have also identified what kind of a problem it is. So is it this just a visual experience, or is it the usability standpoint? So yes, definitely our course would also cover all these scenarios, which will equip you to improve your website by the end of this course. So maybe we can pick your website also one of the live projects as we go through the project. So while we are doing one live project in the class, you can start with your own website, and we can have an understanding of that also. So by end of the course, we might even improve. You might have two projects in your portfolio. One is your own website, and one is the live project that we do on the classroom. So I hope this answered my question, Prashant and Priyanka. That's great. I'm glad that I answered your question. So let's see where when we can begin our classes and start learning and start exploring to deliver solutions for the complex problems. And let's not start with complex problems. Okay, let's start with the simple problems and let's grow for the complex problems. So I can assure you that you can build a definite better solutions than anyone that you are seeing right now. So UX and UI is a holistic course that we are offering, where we are covering the entire UX as a separate study and UI designing as a separate study, though they are interconnected with each other. So UX and UI cannot be separated, and like many other institutes does, but UX and UI are together, and anything that enhances the user experience will be counted as a UX, even the content. So content is the language, the communication, the tone, the voice, everything will be covered as a part of UX. So all those things we can discuss in our course in detail.